Once in the forest you'll find a fabulous banquet, a fairy ball. If you close your eyes and you open your mind, the veil disappears and you'll see it all.
Hi my angels, it's Hailey Reese, and I hope that you guys are ready for yet another spooky video because I have a feeling today's video is not going to disappoint. This one seems like it's gonna be super freaky, and I am really excited to get into it. But before we get into today's video, I just want to let you guys know for today's video I have partnered up with Audible. Now, I actually use Audible and I love Audible so much, and I just have to say that their selection of audiobooks, original shows, news, and comedy is unmatched anywhere. You can listen to it on your phone, tablet, iPad, laptop, etc. And one of the coolest features, I think, is that you can start and stop on any device and pick back up in that exact same spot on a completely different device, so you never miss out on where you last stopped. You can also listen to a book at any speed that suits you, be it faster or slower. It's completely catered to what is comfortable for you while listening to your audiobook. Audible members get a credit every single month, good for any audiobook regardless of the price, and unused credits actually roll over into the next month, so you're never missing out on any of your credits at all if you choose not to utilize them for that particular month. And I think a feature for me that happens to be one of my favorites as somebody who enjoys using Audible is the fact that if you didn't enjoy a book, you can actually just go ahead and return that book. So if you guys want to get a free audiobook and a free 30-day trial, you can go to audible.com/Hailey, or you can text Hailey to 500-500 to redeem this. So like I said, you can go to audible.com/Hailey or text Hailey to 500-500 to receive a free audiobook and a free 30-day trial. All of the information will be down in the description. Thank you so much to Audible for sponsoring today's video. I absolutely love them. So definitely, if you're somebody like me who enjoys listening to audiobooks and things of those sorts, go ahead and utilize the free 30-day trial and a free audiobook. But without further ado, let's get into this. I figured I would actually read what appears to be a very creepy Reddit story. I thought since Audible sponsored today's video, it would be fitting to read to you guys and share a story that I've been seeing a lot on Reddit that I haven't went ahead and read it yet. I'm so lame. So without further ado, let's get into this because I am personally really excited to see what this story is about. So the story is titled, "I Used to Have an Imaginary Pen Pal." All right, let's get into this. When I was a kid, I used to have a little wooden music box, the kind that plays a tiny little tune when you open up the lid. It had those intricate knot carvings on the outside, and the inside was lined with red velvet. Probably it was meant to be a jewelry box, but I used it for passing notes to my imaginary friend. I remember him extremely well, better than some actual friends from my childhood, honestly. His name was Bela, and he lived somewhere very far away. I never decided exactly where he lived, but it was definitely too far to go visit. We were basically pen pals, and we'd write back and forth to each other through the box. I'd write a note and leave it in the box, and the next morning I'd have a note from Bela. Obviously, I was filling in both halves of the conversation, but it was a fun hobby and it kept me from being lonely. I was, as you may have guessed, kind of a weird kid, so a lot of my social interactions with other kids went poorly, to varying degrees. I learned quickly that the advice adults gave was stupid. Stick up for yourself to that bully. Be friendly to the other kids and they'll be friendly too. Just be yourself. So instead, I talked to Bela about my problems. He served as my diary for a lot of elementary school. He was my confessional and my therapist. And for a figment, he was extremely helpful. He never offered solutions that were going to make the problems worse like adults did. Bela's solutions, my solutions, were long-term fixes. Troublemaking friends? Bela would help me figure out a way to develop shared interests so that we naturally had things in common. Issues with my parents? His notes would point out their perspective and help me find logical arguments to them to understand mine. Bully picking on me? We came up with a plan that ended with him being put into foster care by CPS. I felt badly about that one years later when I thought about it, but at the time I was just relieved that he was gone. And really, It probably was a good thing for him. If home life was bad enough for CPS to step in once they found out about it, I did him a favor in the end. It's just bringing attention to the already bad situation. For years, Bela was my friend, confidant, and helper. I'm honestly not sure when or exactly why I stopped writing to him. I suppose at some point my parents decided I was too old to have an imaginary friend and took the box away. Or possibly I came to that conclusion myself and just stopped on my own. Either way, I stopped exchanging notes with Bela and lost track of the box. That was decades ago. I hadn't thought about the box or my childhood friend Bela in years. But last weekend, I was cleaning out my parents' attic and I came across that little wooden music box tucked away in a dusty plastic crate. My eyes lit up when I saw it. Memories came flooding back. I may have been lonely and weird as a child, but I always enjoyed my imaginary PenPal. I blew the dust off of the box and ran my fingers over the complicated knotwork carvings, remembering secrets shared and problems solved. With a grin, I opened the lid to see what was inside. Tiny music spilled out, the familiar strains of Hall of the Mountain King. I was frankly amazed that the music still worked after all the years in the attic, but I was even more surprised to see the box was stuffed to overflowing with slips of paper. My first thought was that my parents had somehow saved my notes and stored them in the box before putting them in the attic. So I sat there to read them and find out what preyed on my mind as a child. Hall of the Mountain King continued to tinkle out behind me as I started to read. I haven't heard from you in a few days, the first note began. I hope you haven't gone on vacation without me again, haha. Are things going well with the new neighbors? I think bonding with Brian is a good long-term move. He's in your grade and more assertive than you, so it gives him an ally both at school and in the neighborhood at home. Don't let Wes win him over. This was from 7th grade when Flemings had moved next door. It was advice I should have heeded too. I remember ruefully how Brian and Wesley had shut me out of school circles throughout middle school and high school, proving they're cool at my expense. Wes and I had been friends in early elementary school, so he had plenty of ammunition. Brian learned quickly when he started palling with Wes. I didn't shake well of the nicknames I got from those two until I went to college. Hey, it's been over a week, said the second note. Everything okay? I'm worried about you. Just drop me a note so I know you're not sick or anything. I turned that one over, puzzled. There was nothing on the back. That seemed like a fairly weird note to leave to myself, even in the guise of a pen pal. There was nothing about my life, nothing about his. Maybe I really had been sick at that time. I didn't recall any major illnesses in 7th grade, but it was possible. I picked up the third note. You've abandoned me. It's been a month. Why? I was always there from you. Fourth note. I hate you. Fifth. I'm sorry. Why did you leave me? Please write back. Sixth. I'll find you. The 7th slip of paper also read, I'll find you. So did the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, and all of the rest. I stopped counting and started flipping through the remaining papers, but all of the dozens of remaining notes were the same message. So freaky, you guys. Oh my goodness. Sometimes in all caps, sometimes in regular writing, and one in pen strokes so heavy they had torn the paper in 4 places. Over and over again, I'll find you, I'll find you. Alone in the attic, surrounded by threatening slips of paper, that little song rendition of Hall of the Mountain King suddenly sounded very ominous. I hastily stacked up all of the notes and crammed them back into the box, cutting the music as I latched the lid shut. I put the box back into the dusty crate and placed another crate on top of it. I told myself it was getting late and I'd finish up the attic another day. I left the house. This morning, I got out of the shower to see my mirror had steamed up, which is usual. What was unusual was the intricate knotwork lines traced into the surface as if someone had stood there and carefully drawn them onto the steamed glass. The entire mirror was covered and the design was eerily reminiscent of the carvings on the outside of my music box. I wiped the mirror clean, but as I did, I heard the very faintly notes of Hall of the Mountain King playing somewhere in my house. I exited the bathroom to hear it better, but the noise ceased as soon as I opened the door. I got dressed and left the house in a hurry. Halfway to work, I drove over a pothole and the glove box on my car popped open. Sitting inside was my little wooden music box. Its lid came unlatched. Oh my goodness. Its little music mocked me, daring me to open it. I did, only to find that the box now contained only a single piece of paper. I found you. I threw the box out the window of the car and saw it break on the road. I saw the wood crack, saw the little tin cylinder pop out and roll away, and yet when I got to work, I found a little wooden music box sitting on my desk. It's carved, an intricate knotwork, and I'm sure that if it's open, it'll be greeted with the velvet interior and the sounds of Hall of the Mountain King. It's just a music box. It's completely harmless, but Bela always was a long-term planner. I think about the possibilities, and I'm terrified. Oh my goodness. I knew this story was gonna be good. I knew it was gonna be freaky. I knew that it was gonna be thought-provoking. That is insane. I think the craziest part about this story is the fact that he thought that he was writing the notes all along to this invisible friend and writing them back. But was he? What was really happening? I don't know. I've never heard of this one before. I saw the title of it. I felt like you guys would be interested to read it with me because I do like to read these, and I'm just in complete shock as to what I just read. What do you guys think happened? What do you think is going on with Bela? What do you think is going on with this? I presume it's a boy. It seems as though it's a boy telling the story, or a man now rather. Drop a comment down below. Let me know your theories. Let me know what you guys think of this, what you guys are thinking, and I will be responding to as many of those as I can because I see this a million gazillion times. I'm like a broken record. Responding to you guys and reading your theories is one of my favorite things to do, especially when I don't know what to make of something. So please, please, please go ahead and drop a comment down below. If you're new to my channel or you are just not yet subscribed, but you do enjoy my videos, I would absolutely love it if you would go ahead and click that subscribe button. I post a ton of videos, so I don't want you to miss when I upload. And please give this video a big thumbs up if you did enjoy it. It makes my heart super happy and I really, really appreciate it. So please do that. Remember, my loves, do all things with kindness. And until next time, I love you.